The South African Rugby Union has just announced the host venues for next year's Rugby Championship, of course being a World Cup year. It's a condensed tournament with just 3 rounds, Ellis Park and Kings Park being awarded the honour of hosting respectively the All Blacks and Argentina. I'm joined in studio by Sport24 editor Garen Namley to discuss this. There are feelings in some quarters that Newlands has been snubbed once again, so we're going to get some social media reaction on that too. Garen, good morning. Thanks for coming in.
How are you doing, Nick?
Your feelings, first of all, when you heard this news, being a loyal Cape man?
A little bit disappointing, I must be honest. You know, it's been since 2008, the last time the All Blacks were at Newlands. So, you know, again, 7 years, it'll be next year. Still no All Blacks, no definite sign that they'll be in Cape Town anytime after that. Although Saru have sort of left it open from 2016 onwards. They said they're going to move the All Blacks test, which is now going to be played at Emirates Airline Park for 3 years in a row. After that, in 2016, they're going to move it around the country. But that's not to say that it's going to come to Cape Town. You know, it could well go to Durban. Obviously, Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in Port Elizabeth has hosted the All Blacks before. Obviously, don't forget Loftus Versfeld. You know, they like playing the All Blacks, our biggest arch enemies, at altitude. That's why I think they've taken it so often to Ellis Park, where we've got a fairly good record against the All Blacks. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to Loftus. Obviously, Bloemfontein sort of never really gets mentioned, but they do have a stadium there as well. And then you've got sort of those FNB stadiums and then Bombela Stadium, which could also host as well. So nothing to say that Newlands will even get the All Blacks, but a little bit of a snub this year. We're getting the World 15 game again in Cape Town. Last year we had it, this year we actually had it as well. You know, one of those little gimmicky matches, if you ask me, to be honest. I don't know how they're going to get a World 15 team together next year, so close to the World Cup. It's going to be sort of players that aren't going to go to the World Cup. So, and it'll just be a hit out for the Springboks just ahead of the tournament, which will be 3-4 weeks away at that stage.
Well, on that note, I want to read out a tweet from our very own rugby analyst, Tank Lanning, who says, wonder what kind of a World 15 they will be able to pull together 2 weeks before the World Cup. So fair point. And I see that that particular fixture hasn't actually been confirmed yet, either for the 22nd or the 29th.
Yeah. Look, if it is the 29th, that is exactly 3 weeks before South Africa play their first Rugby World Cup game. Bearing in mind, we've still got to name the squad, which will be straight after that game. You're not going to want to pick up any injuries in this sort of game, which is fairly meaningless, won't be an official test. You know, so it's sort of the fixture that if Jean de Villiers, for example, is hoping to be fit for, that might be the match he's targeting, sort of his last opportunity to convince Heineke May that he is over his knee injury, that he is deserving of inclusion in a World Cup squad, because the squad will have to be named straight afterwards, and they're not going to want to obviously pick any players that haven't proved their fitness, who are carrying niggling injuries. So, you know, that's sort of match, nothing to gain out of it, a lot to lose. Picking up injuries to key players so close to the World Cup gives you very, very little time to sort of overcome those injuries. So, you know, this year we won the match convincingly, 47-13, I think. You know, the World 11, World 15 were competitive in the first half, and then we just ran all over them in the second half. So, not a lot to gain. Sort of like a consolation prize for Newlands, if you like, 2 years in a row. I'm pretty sure Newlands would have taken any other test rather than that particular one. So, a little bit of a snub for the Cape again.